The Freemasons. Written and published by Lord Cabura's Magic Haven. Introduction, The Mystique of the Freemasons. Freemasonry is one of the world's oldest and most secretive organizations. Laden with secrets and enchantment. For centuries, this organization have sparked the imagination of both scholars and conspiracy theorists alike. People often wonder what goes on behind the closed doors of their lodges, what rituals they practice, and how they have influenced the world around them. Some say Freemasonry holds the keys to ancient wisdom, while others believe it is a powerful network controlling global events. This organization, with its roots stretching back into the Middle Ages, has been a subject of fascination for people of all walks of life. Freemasonry began as a society of stonemasons, skilled workers who built the cathedrals, castles, and other grand structures of Europe. But it quickly evolved into something far more profound. By the 18th century, it was no longer just for men who worked with stone, but for those who sought to build their inner character and understand the deeper mysteries of life. The organization attracted kings, philosophers, writers, and revolutionaries. As they met in their secret lodges, these men discussed everything from morality and justice to Enlightenment ideals that would later shape modern democracies. However, Freemasonry's veil of secrecy has also made it a target of suspicion. Many believe it is a shadowy group pulling the strings behind world governments. Others claim it practices dark occult rituals or even holds forbidden knowledge. These myths and conspiracy theories, though entertaining, often obscure the true nature of Freemasonry, which is primarily a brotherhood devoted to personal growth, charity, and the pursuit of wisdom. This book is not about spinning wild tales but about uncovering the truth behind this ancient and influential fraternity. We'll explore its origins, its rise to prominence, and its practices. We'll also share stories of individuals, kings, thinkers, and revolutionaries, who were part of this order and whose membership shaped their destiny. George Washington, a man whose leadership helped shape the United States. As a committed Freemason, Washington attended Masonic meetings even during the Revolutionary War. The principles of Freemasonry, brotherhood, integrity, and moral leadership, were built into his conduct, guiding him as he led his country to independence. Washington believed that the values instilled in him through this organization helped make him the leader his country needed at its most crucial time. Another fascinating figure is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. A composer whose works still echo across time, Mozart was deeply influenced by his Masonic ties. His opera The Magic Flute is filled with Masonic symbolism, drawing on the rituals and teachings of the Brotherhood. In it, we see themes of enlightenment, wisdom, and the triumph of good over evil, core values that Freemasons hold dear. These stories and many others show that, far from being a dark or sinister group, the Freemasons have contributed positively to society, shaping history and culture in profound ways. Yet, they have always maintained a certain air of mystery. The symbols they use, the square and compass, the all-seeing eye, the pillars of the Temple of Solomon, each hold deeper meanings that have been passed down through generations of initiates. But what do they really represent? How do these symbols and the rituals associated with them connect this organization across the centuries? In this book, we will pull back the curtain on these secrets and explore how they have influenced the members' moral and spiritual journey. Along the way, we'll dispel the myths and misunderstandings that have grown up around Freemasonry and present a clearer picture of what this brotherhood really is. So, as we begin, keep an open mind and prepare to explore a world that has long been hidden in plain sight, a world where the lessons of the past continue to guide the present, and where the true power lies not in secret plots but in the cultivation of character, wisdom, and brotherhood. Chapter 1, The Origins of Freemasonry. Freemasonry traces its origins to the stonemason guilds of medieval Europe. These guilds were formed by skilled craftsmen who built the great cathedrals, castles, and other monumental structures across Europe. In a time where knowledge was a valuable and often guarded asset, these guilds operated as a brotherhood, preserving the technical skills and trade secrets required to work with stone. Only those who had undergone rigorous training and initiation were entrusted with the sacred knowledge of the craft. These guilds functioned not only as trade unions but as a form of social network and support system. Members helped each other find work, protected their rights, and ensured that the standards of their craft remained high. They also held ceremonial meetings in lodges near the building sites. It is from these early Mason lodges that many of the rituals and symbols of modern Freemasonry, such as the square and compass, would eventually evolve. Though rooted in physical labor, these lodges began to take on a more philosophical dimension over time. The Masons' work was seen as a metaphor for shaping not just stone but also the human soul, laying the groundwork for the philosophical organization that would later emerge. As society evolved, the purpose of these stonemason guilds began to shift. By the 17th century, the need for large-scale cathedral construction had diminished, and the guilds saw a decline in their original function. At the same time, however, these lodges began to open their doors to non-Masons, men of learning, nobility, and influence who were attracted to the values and rituals the guilds embodied. These new members were known as speculative Masons, as they were not literal stoneworkers but intellectuals and philosophers who were interested in the symbolic and ethical teachings of the Masons. This transition marked the birth of Freemasonry as we know it today, a fraternity devoted to personal development, moral philosophy, and the exploration of deeper truths about life and the universe. The physical tools of the stonemasons, such as the compass, level, and plumb line, became symbols for moral and spiritual principles. The lodge, once a place of work, now became a place of intellectual and spiritual discourse. Several key figures played a significant role in the evolution of this brotherhood. From a trade-based guild to a philosophical society. One of the earliest recorded instances of this shift comes from Elias Ashmole, an English antiquary and scholar, who was initiated into a Masonic lodge in 1646. Ashmole was not a Mason by trade, but his initiation is one of the first recorded examples of an intellectual joining a Masonic lodge, signifying the organization's growing emphasis on speculative philosophy. Another influential figure in early Freemasonry was Sir Christopher Wren, the architect behind St. Paul's Cathedral in London. Wren was not only a master builder but also a prominent member of the Royal Society, a scientific institution dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. His involvement in Freemasonry highlighted the organization's growing ties to the intellectual and scientific movements of the time. These men, along with others like them, helped to shape Freemasonry into a space where ideas about morality, ethics, and the natural world could be explored through allegory and ritual. They laid the foundation for what would become one of the most influential fraternal organizations in the world. In 1717, a pivotal moment in the history of Freemasonry occurred, the formation of the first Grand Lodge in London. This event marked the official consolidation of various Masonic lodges into a unified body, with standardized rituals, rules, and regulations. The Grand Lodge of England brought a sense of order and legitimacy to Freemasonry, allowing it to expand rapidly not only across Britain but around the world. The formation of the Grand Lodge also marked the organization's transition into a more public and influential organization. No longer just a private fraternity of craftsmen, Freemasonry now positioned itself as a society dedicated to the promotion of Enlightenment ideals, reason, fraternity, and the pursuit of knowledge. This shift coincided with the broader intellectual movements of the time, such as the Enlightenment, which valued reason, science, and the questioning of traditional authority. The first Grand Lodge opened the door for the spread of Freemasonry throughout Europe and, eventually, to the Americas and other parts of the world. Its formation in 1717 represents the formal beginning of Freemasonry as a global movement, one that would come to play a significant role in the social, political, and intellectual developments of the 18th and 19th centuries. In this chapter, we've explored the origins of Freemasonry, from its medieval roots as a guild of skilled craftsmen to its transformation into a global philosophical society. As we continue our journey through the history of Freemasonry, we'll see how this organization has influenced not only individual lives but also entire nations and ideologies. Chapter 2: The Structure of Freemasonry. Freemasonry is structured around a network of lodges, which are the local chapters where members meet to engage in rituals, discussions, and social gatherings. Each lodge operates independently but under the guidance of a Grand Lodge, which oversees multiple lodges within a specific geographical region, typically a country, state, or province. The Grand Lodge provides direction, ensuring that all lodges adhere to Masonic traditions, rules, and rituals. Lodges are the heart of Freemasonry. This is where members, known as brothers, gather to perform ancient ceremonies, learn moral lessons, and support one another in their personal development. While lodges are often seen as closed or secretive, they serve as places of fellowship, where individuals from various backgrounds come together united by shared values of integrity, respect, and the pursuit of knowledge. The Grand Lodges, on the other hand, are the governing bodies responsible for the overall direction and maintenance of the Masonic tradition. The formation of the first Grand Lodge in England in 1717 helped standardize Masonic rituals and practices, creating a unified system that allowed Freemasonry to flourish and expand globally. Today, every Grand Lodge operates autonomously, yet they all follow the same fundamental principles that have been passed down through generations. One of the most unique aspects of this organization is its system of degrees, which symbolize the journey of personal and spiritual growth that each member undertakes. There are 3 main degrees in Freemasonry, each representing a different stage of knowledge and initiation. Entered Apprentice, this is the first degree, where a new member begins their Masonic journey. The Entered Apprentice represents a novice or learner who is just starting to explore the symbolic teachings of Freemasonry. This degree emphasizes the importance of self-reflection, personal responsibility, and moral integrity. It is often described as the foundation upon which the Masonic experience is built. Fellowcraft, the second degree focuses on intellectual and spiritual development. The Fellowcraft represents a craftsman who has begun to gain mastery of his skills, both in a literal sense, in the context of the original stonemasons, and in a moral sense. Members at this stage delve deeper into the symbolic meanings behind Masonic teachings, with an emphasis on education, self-improvement, and the importance of understanding the natural world. Master Mason, the third and final degree in Blue Lodge Freemasonry, the Master Mason is a full member who has completed the initial stages of the Masonic journey. This degree is rich in symbolism, particularly surrounding the themes of death, resurrection, and the pursuit of truth. A Master Mason is seen as someone who has attained a higher level of moral and spiritual understanding, prepared to fully engage in the responsibilities and teachings of Freemasonry. Each degree is marked by a solemn and symbolic initiation ceremony, where the candidate is led through allegorical lessons designed to challenge their understanding of life, ethics, and personal growth. These degrees are not merely titles but represent significant stages in a Mason's journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. The role of the Worshipful Master, leadership in the lodge. At the head of each Masonic lodge is the Worshipful Master, who is elected by the members of the lodge to serve as the leader for a specific term, usually 1 year. The Worshipful Master's role is critical. He is responsible for presiding over meetings, ensuring that rituals are conducted properly, and maintaining the harmony and smooth functioning of the lodge. The title, worshipful, is not used in a religious context but is an Old English term that signifies honor and respect. The Worshipful Master is seen as a symbol of wisdom and authority within the lodge, guiding the members as they pursue their individual paths of self-improvement. His role is similar to that of a teacher or mentor, ensuring that the lodge remains focused on the principles of Freemasonry, such as brotherly love, relief, and truth. In addition to leading the lodge, the Worshipful Master is also responsible for representing the lodge in interactions with other Masonic bodies, including the Grand Lodge. He plays a vital role in fostering relationships with other lodges and ensuring that his lodge contributes to the larger Masonic community. While the 3 degrees of Freemasonry, Entered Apprentice, Fellowcraft, and Master Mason, form the foundation of the Masonic experience, there are several appendant bodies that Masons can join to further their knowledge and involvement. These related organizations offer additional degrees and teachings that build upon the principles of Freemasonry. Some of the most well-known appendant bodies include York Rite, The York Rite offers a series of additional degrees that continue the themes of moral philosophy, the search for truth, and the exploration of biblical allegory. It includes 3 separate branches: the Chapter of Royal Archmasons, the Council of Cryptic Masons, and the Commandery of Knights Templar. Each branch adds a deeper layer of meaning to the Masonic journey. Scottish Rite. The Scottish Rite is another appendant body that offers a total of 33 degrees, each one representing a different aspect of moral and philosophical exploration. The Scottish Rite is known for its emphasis on intellectual and spiritual teachings, often focusing on broader philosophical questions and the nature of the universe. Shriners. The Shriners, officially known as the Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, are a Masonic organization known for their charitable work, particularly in the operation of children's hospitals. While the Shriners are best known for their community service and philanthropy, they also incorporate many of the same values and teachings that form the core of Freemasonry. Each of these appendant bodies offers Masons the opportunity to deepen their involvement in the fraternity and to continue their journey of personal growth. While not all Masons choose to join these additional organizations, many find that they provide a valuable extension of the lessons learned in the Blue Lodge. In this chapter, we've explored the structure of Freemasonry, from the local lodges that form the heart of the fraternity to the appendant bodies that offer Masons the opportunity to expand their knowledge and experience. As we continue our journey through the world of Freemasonry, we'll dig deeper into the rituals, symbols, and philosophies that have made this organization such a lasting and influential force in the world. Chapter 3: The Symbols and Rituals of Freemasonry. Freemasonry is steeped in symbolism, using images, tools, and allegories to convey deep moral and philosophical truths. These symbols act as a bridge between the physical world and the abstract concepts that Freemasonry aims to teach, encouraging its members to contemplate life, ethics, and their place in the universe. One of the most recognizable symbols is the square and compass, often seen as the emblem of Freemasonry. The square symbolizes morality, as it represents fairness and integrity, while the compass speaks to self-restraint and the need to set limits on one's desires to live a balanced life. Another significant symbol is the all-seeing eye, often associated with divine watchfulness. It represents the belief that a higher power, whether it be God, the great architect of the universe, or universal conscience, is constantly observing human actions, urging Masons to live honorably. This symbol reminds Freemasons that their thoughts, words, and deeds should always align with the principles of truth and justice. Symbols like the beehive represent industry and cooperation, encouraging members to work together for the common good, much like bees in a hive. The blazing star, a symbol of divine guidance and enlightenment, encourages Masons to seek knowledge and follow a path of spiritual awakening. Each symbol in Freemasonry serves a unique purpose, fostering reflection on one's personal development and duties toward others. Freemasonry is often shrouded in mystery because of its rituals, which have been passed down through centuries. These rituals are integral to the experience of becoming a Freemason, marking the stages of a Mason's personal journey toward enlightenment. The process of initiation is highly symbolic, representing a kind of spiritual rebirth as the candidate moves from darkness, ignorance, into light, knowledge. At each stage of advancement, through the degrees of entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason, the candidate participates in rituals that reveal hidden truths. The rituals are filled with allegorical references, drawing on ancient wisdom and moral lessons. For instance, the entered apprentice ritual focuses on the need for personal discipline and the importance of building a strong foundation in one's life, just as a stonemason would lay a firm base for a structure. The fellow craft degree delves into intellectual development and the pursuit of knowledge, while the master mason degree symbolizes the passage through life's final stage, death, and the hope for eternal life. These rituals are often misunderstood by outsiders due to their secrecy. However, within Freemasonry, they serve to unite members, instill important moral lessons, and create a sense of shared purpose. One of the most important stories in this organization is the construction of King Solomon's Temple. The temple is more than just an ancient architectural marvel, it is a symbol of the spiritual and moral building that every Freemason undertakes within himself. The Temple of Solomon represents the ideal of perfection and the quest to align one's life with divine principles. In Masonic lore, the building of the temple is often connected to the story of Hiram Abiff, a master builder and architect who is revered for his loyalty, skill, and wisdom. Hiram Abiff's role in the construction of the temple and his ultimate fate is a powerful allegory for perseverance, fidelity, and the inevitability of death. Members are taught to emulate Hiram's dedication to his craft and to uphold the virtues of loyalty and truth, even in the face of adversity. The temple also influences Masonic rituals and architecture. Many Masonic lodges are designed with symbolic elements that harken back to Solomon's temple, with columns, arches, and other features representing different stages of personal and spiritual development. Freemasonry draws heavily on the tools of the medieval stonemasons to teach its lessons. These everyday tools are imbued with symbolic meaning, transforming them from mere instruments of construction into moral guides for living a virtuous life. The trowel, for example, is used by stonemasons to spread mortar between bricks. In Freemasonry, it symbolizes the spreading of brotherly love and unity, encouraging Masons to help one another and foster harmony within their communities. The plumb, used to ensure that walls are perfectly vertical, becomes a symbol of uprightness in conduct. It reminds the members to live their lives in accordance with moral laws, being just and honest in all their dealings. The level represents equality, as it ensures that every stone is set at the same height. The level teaches the importance of treating all people with respect and fairness, regardless of their social or economic standing. The gavel, used by the worshipful master in lodge meetings, is a symbol of discipline and authority. In a symbolic sense, it represents the need to shape one's character by knocking off rough edges, similar to how a stonemason uses the gavel to shape stone. Masons are encouraged to use self-discipline to refine their thoughts, words, and actions to become better individuals. Through these symbols and rituals, the organization teaches valuable life lessons, encouraging personal growth, moral uprightness, and a sense of responsibility toward others. These tools remind Masons that their actions and decisions have a profound impact, and it is through dedication, self-improvement, and brotherhood that they can achieve their highest potential. Chapter 4: Unity in Diversity. Freemasonry stands as a unique organization that transcends the boundaries of religious affiliation. At its core, they welcomes men of all faiths, provided they believe in a supreme being, often referred to as the great architect of the universe. This idea of unity in diversity allows them to come together under shared moral and philosophical values while maintaining their individual religious identities. The focus is not on which faith is followed but on the belief in a higher power that governs the universe. This inclusiveness has been one of Freemasonry's defining features, creating an environment where men of different religions, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, and others, can work together toward self-improvement and the betterment of society. The lodge becomes a space where religious differences are set aside, and members are encouraged to focus on universal principles like brotherhood, charity, and truth. Despite the organization's openness to all religions, its relationship with the Catholic Church has been fraught with tension for centuries. One of the earliest and most significant confrontations came in 1738 when Pope Clement XII issued a papal bull titled In Eminentia Apostolatus, which condemned Freemasonry and excommunicated any Catholics who became members. The Church's opposition stemmed from its perception that Freemasonry promoted secularism, undermined church authority, and engaged in secretive, heretical activities. Over time, these accusations were reinforced by various church leaders, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries, who viewed Freemasonry as a threat to both religious orthodoxy and political stability. The Catholic Church claimed that Freemasonry's secretive rituals and lack of adherence to a specific religious doctrine made it incompatible with the teachings of Christianity. The Church feared that Masonic values of independence and free thought could lead to challenges against its authority. Freemasonry, however, has always maintained that its principles are not anti-religious. Masons argue that the organization simply promotes a space for personal spiritual growth that is separate from any particular religious institution. Yet, the tension remains, and even today, Catholics are forbidden from joining Masonic lodges without facing potential excommunication. While Freemasonry does not endorse or adhere to any specific religious doctrine, it does foster a deeply spiritual environment. Masonic rituals, symbols, and teachings often encourage members to contemplate their place in the universe, the nature of good and evil, and their personal responsibilities toward humanity. Freemasonry promotes the idea that every individual is on a journey toward self-improvement and enlightenment, and it provides the tools and guidance for that journey. The rituals themselves are steeped in spiritual symbolism. For instance, the candidate's journey through the degrees of Freemasonry mirrors a form of spiritual ascent, where he confronts moral challenges and learns lessons about life, death, and rebirth. The emphasis on light as a metaphor for knowledge and enlightenment further reinforces the spiritual underpinnings of the organization. Members are encouraged to seek the light of truth, wisdom, and understanding as they progress through the degrees. Although the organization does not offer salvation or adhere to the religious practices of any specific faith, its emphasis on personal transformation and the moral improvement of its members can be seen as a spiritual pursuit. For many Freemasons, the lodge is a sanctuary for personal reflection and growth, where they can explore their own spiritual paths without the constraints of dogma. Freemasonry is also deeply influenced by esoteric and mystical traditions, including Kabbalah, alchemy, and Hermeticism. These ancient teachings, which explore the hidden nature of the universe and the spiritual transformation of the individual, have long been associated with their rituals and symbolism. While Freemasonry is not explicitly a mystical organization, many of its teachings overlap with these traditions, providing members with a rich history of esoteric knowledge. For example, the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, which represents the different stages of spiritual ascent, has parallels in the Masonic journey through the degrees, where each stage represents a step toward personal enlightenment. Similarly, the practice of alchemy, with its focus on transforming base metals into gold, mirrors the Masonic ideal of transforming oneself from a state of ignorance into one of wisdom and virtue. One of the most significant esoteric influences on Freemasonry is Hermeticism, an ancient philosophical system based on the writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. Hermeticism emphasizes the idea that, as above, so below, the notion that the macrocosm, the universe, is reflected in the microcosm, the individual. Freemasonry incorporates this idea by teaching that personal transformation and enlightenment can lead to a greater understanding of the universe and one's place within it. Throughout history, notable figures within Freemasonry, such as Isaac Newton, have been deeply engaged with esoteric and mystical traditions. Newton, a prominent member of the Royal Society and a practicing Freemason, was known to study alchemy and other esoteric sciences, viewing them as a path to understanding the divine order of the universe. His belief that the physical world was governed by spiritual laws is reflected in the Masonic emphasis on the harmony between science, philosophy, and spirituality. Chapter 5, Shaping the World Beyond Borders. Freemasonry, from its early origins, quickly spread beyond the boundaries of England, establishing lodges across Europe, the Americas, and eventually throughout the world. By the 18th and 19th centuries, it had become a global movement, influencing not only individual members but entire societies. Freemasonry's emphasis on Enlightenment ideals, such as liberty, equality, fraternity, and personal moral development, appealed to many during a time of political and social transformation. In countries like France, Germany, and Italy, Masonic lodges became hubs for intellectual exchange, attracting thinkers, philosophers, and political leaders. These lodges were not just places for socializing, but spaces where revolutionary ideas about governance, human rights, and society were discussed. Masonic ideals of equality and freedom resonated in a world ripe for revolution, as monarchies and old regimes faced growing challenges. Freemasonry's reach, from colonial America to Latin America, made it a powerful force for change across the globe. As one of the most famous Freemasons in history, George Washington, the first President of the United States, exemplified the Masonic values of leadership, integrity, and civic duty. Washington joined the Freemasons in 1752 and remained an active member throughout his life. His leadership during the American Revolution and as the first president of the new nation helped shape the United States as a republic grounded in principles that align closely with Masonic ideals, such as individual liberty, civic responsibility, and the rule of law. His commitment to this organization can be seen in his participation in the cornerstone-laying ceremony of the U.S. Capitol, a symbol of Freemasonry's influence on the nation's founding. Benjamin Franklin, another prominent Freemason, Franklin was not only a founding father of the United States but also a key figure in the spread of Freemasonry across the Atlantic. Franklin joined a Masonic lodge in Philadelphia in 1731 and later became the Grand Master of the Pennsylvania Freemasons. His diplomatic skills, innovative thinking, and philosophical writings were heavily influenced by the Enlightenment ideals he encountered within the lodge. Franklin also strengthened ties between American and French Freemasons during the American Revolution, using his Masonic connections to garner support for the revolutionary cause. Winston Churchill, a towering figure of the 20th century, Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister during World War II, was initiated into Freemasonry in 1901. Churchill's leadership and rhetoric during the war were steeped in Masonic principles, especially the values of courage, resilience, and the fight for liberty. Freemasonry's ideal of fraternity also likely influenced Churchill's vision of a united world order after the war, leading to his advocacy for organizations like the United Nations. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, a genius of classical music, Mozart was initiated into a Masonic lodge in Vienna in 1784. His association with Freemasonry deeply influenced his music, particularly his opera The Magic Flute, which is filled with Masonic symbolism and themes of enlightenment, truth, and the triumph of reason over ignorance. Mozart's Masonic ties reflected his belief in the transformative power of art and knowledge, aligning with the Freemasons' pursuit of intellectual and spiritual advancement. Freemasonry has played a significant role in shaping the political landscape of the modern world, particularly during periods of revolution. Masonic lodges provided an environment where ideas about democracy, freedom, and individual rights could flourish, often in opposition to monarchies and authoritarian regimes. The American Revolution, Freemasonry's influence on the American Revolution is undeniable. Many of the key figures in the fight for American independence were Freemasons, including George Washington, Paul Revere, and John Hancock. Masonic ideals of liberty and fraternity aligned with the colonists' desire for independence from British rule. The Boston Tea Party, a pivotal event leading to the Revolution, was reportedly planned in a Masonic lodge. The Masonic influence on the Revolution extended beyond mere membership, as the values of personal liberty, civic responsibility, and equality were embedded in the founding documents of the United States, particularly the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. The French Revolution, similarly, Freemasonry had a profound impact on the French Revolution. Many of the leaders of the Revolution were Freemasons, including the Marquis de Lafayette, who was also a key figure in the American Revolution. Masonic lodges in France became hotbeds of revolutionary thought, discussing concepts such as liberty, equality, and fraternity, ideas that eventually became the rallying cry of the Revolution. While the relationship between Freemasonry and the French Revolution was complex, with some Masons supporting the monarchy, the revolutionary ideals championed by Freemasonry were clearly reflected in the movement that overthrew the French monarchy and reshaped France into a republic. Latin American independence movements, Freemasonry also played a role in the independence movements across Latin America. Leaders such as Simón Bolívar, the liberator of South America, were active Freemasons. Bolívar and other revolutionary leaders used Masonic networks to organize and gain support for their cause, drawing on Masonic principles of self-determination and the pursuit of freedom. The influence of Freemasonry in Latin American politics continued long after independence, as many of the new governments were shaped by Masonic ideals. The Declaration of Independence, authored by Freemason Thomas Jefferson, reflects Masonic ideals in its assertion that all men are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These principles align closely with the Masonic belief in the dignity of the individual and the importance of self-governance. Masonic symbolism can also be found in the design of Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Pierre Charles L'Enfant, the architect of the city's layout, was a Freemason, and his plans incorporated many Masonic symbols, such as the use of geometric shapes and the placement of key buildings in positions of symbolic significance. The Capitol building itself was constructed with Masonic rituals, including the laying of the cornerstone by George Washington in a Masonic ceremony. Freemasonry has long captivated the imagination of writers, filmmakers, and artists, leading to a range of portrayals in popular culture. From the adventurous treasure hunts in films like National Treasure to the mind-bending mysteries in the Da Vinci Code, Freemasonry has often been depicted as a secretive organization with hidden knowledge and dark agendas. These portrayals can contribute to the allure of Freemasonry, drawing in curiosity and interest, but they can also perpetuate misconceptions. For example, The Simpsons and other comedic portrayals often exaggerate or caricature Masonic rituals, painting a picture of absurdity rather than authenticity. While these representations can be entertaining, they often overshadow the genuine principles and values of Freemasonry, leading the public to confuse fiction with reality. In examining these depictions, it's essential to consider the impact they have on society's understanding of Freemasonry. Are these portrayals harmless fun, or do they contribute to an ongoing culture of misunderstanding and mistrust? One of the most persistent conspiracy theories surrounding Freemasonry is the belief that it is part of a vast network of secret societies that control global events. This idea suggests that Masons wield tremendous power, manipulating politics, economics, and society from behind the scenes. However, the reality is more nuanced. While Freemasonry does have a long history and a complex network of members, it is not a monolithic organization with a singular agenda. In fact, the diversity of beliefs and opinions within Freemasonry means that members often disagree on many issues. The idea of a coordinated global conspiracy overlooks the reality that individuals within the organization have varied motivations and interests. Moreover, many of the claims about Masons controlling world events stem from historical paranoia, often fueled by xenophobia and a misunderstanding of secret societies. By critically analyzing these conspiracy theories, we can recognize the social and psychological factors that lead to such beliefs, ultimately dispelling the myth of an all-powerful Masonic cabal. The phrase, New World Order, evokes a sense of impending change, often associated with a secret plan to establish a one-world government. Freemasonry is frequently implicated in this narrative, with claims that Masons are working to create a totalitarian regime under the guise of promoting brotherhood and enlightenment. This perspective arises from a fear of losing individual freedoms and the belief that secret societies manipulate political systems for their gain. However, the concept of a New World Order is often more about cultural anxiety than it is about factual conspiracies. Freemasonry, with its focus on individual improvement and community service, does not advocate for such a dystopian vision. Understanding the historical context of these fears is crucial. Many people have felt threatened by rapid changes in society, leading to scapegoating of groups like the Freemasons. By analyzing these fears critically, we can address the underlying anxieties and help foster a more nuanced understanding of Freemasonry's actual role in society. Chapter 7, Freemasonry Today, Tradition Meets Modernity. As we step into the 21st century, Freemasonry finds itself at a crossroads, merging age-old traditions with the demands of contemporary society. This evolution is not merely about keeping pace with modernity but also about remaining relevant in a world that has changed dramatically since its inception. Many lodges have embraced technology to connect with members and streamline operations, utilizing social media and online platforms for communication and education. For instance, virtual meetings during the pandemic allowed Masonic organizations to maintain connections and rituals despite physical distancing. Additionally, many lodges have expanded their community outreach through online charity events and fundraising initiatives, enabling them to engage a wider audience than ever before. Yet, the core values of Freemasonry, brotherhood, moral integrity, and personal development, remain steadfast. Lodges still hold traditional ceremonies and rituals that honor the legacy of their founders, creating a unique blend of history and modernity. This adaptability is essential as Freemasonry seeks to resonate with a new generation of members, inviting them to explore the rich tapestry of Masonic life. Despite its enduring legacy, Freemasonry faces several challenges that threaten its future. One of the most pressing issues is the decline in membership. As societal values shift and younger generations seek different forms of community engagement, many lodges are experiencing a drop in active participants. This trend prompts a critical evaluation of how Freemasonry presents itself to potential members. Technology also poses a dual challenge. While it offers new avenues for connection, it also competes for attention. The digital age has birthed myriad social platforms, entertainment options, and community organizations that vie for the same demographic Freemasonry seeks to attract. This requires a reimagining of how Freemasonry markets itself, emphasizing the benefits of membership in a world saturated with alternatives. Moreover, maintaining relevance in a rapidly changing society is crucial. Freemasonry must address contemporary social issues, including diversity, inclusivity, and community engagement. By openly discussing these challenges and adapting accordingly, Freemasonry can cultivate a welcoming environment that appeals to a broader audience while staying true to its foundational principles. One of the most commendable aspects of Freemasonry is its commitment to charity and philanthropy. The organization has a long history of supporting various charitable endeavors, from local community projects to global initiatives. Masonic lodges often establish hospitals, scholarship programs, and foundations that provide vital support to those in need. For example, Masonic hospitals across the globe offer healthcare services to underserved populations, demonstrating the organization's dedication to community welfare. Similarly, scholarship programs empower young people to pursue education, emphasizing Freemasonry's belief in the transformative power of knowledge. In addition to established initiatives, local lodges often engage in community service projects that address specific needs within their areas. Whether it's organizing food drives, volunteering at shelters, or contributing to disaster relief efforts, Freemasons actively work to make a positive impact on society. This emphasis on charity not only reinforces Masonic values but also helps to dispel some of the myths surrounding the organization, showcasing its commitment to bettering the world. Looking ahead, the future of Freemasonry hinges on its ability to adapt while preserving its core values. As the organization goes through the complexities of modern life, it must find innovative ways to attract a new generation of members who are eager for meaningful connections and personal growth. Efforts to engage younger individuals might include offering mentorship programs, creating flexible membership options, and fostering an inclusive atmosphere that reflects diverse backgrounds and perspectives. Additionally, leveraging technology for educational initiatives, virtual events, and interactive experiences can enhance the Masonic journey for new members. Freemasonry's commitment to self-improvement and community service will continue to resonate with those seeking purpose in their lives. If you enjoyed this content and want to stay updated on our latest episodes, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Your support helps us reach more people and continue bringing you engaging and insightful discussions. Thank you for being part of our community.